Hi everyone, it's Ryan Kershaw here. Hey, cheers for reading the columns on LinkedIn, and I hope you're enjoying them. It's been cool to talk with some of you and discuss music and guitar, of course. I thought I'd put up a couple of easy songwriting ideas for you. I don't know if I'll do many of these, or we'll see how it goes. You know, my main thing is really, I like to write about the thinking to do with the approach to music, and especially the personal growth aspect, because I know both as a musician and a teacher how much things like a lack of confidence can limit you in your music, or can make you feel, even if you're a really skilled player, if all that other side of it is not really going well, it can really hinder what you do with music. So that's kind of my focus more, but of course I like to teach and just show mates ideas and things too, so hopefully you get a bit out of it. Look, I haven't set up anything properly or anything, so the sound will be a bit rubbish. I haven't worried about the tone. We're just going to see how this goes, and then if you like them, maybe I can do a few more videos and we'll make them a little bit flashier, but we'll just do a basic thing for today. So the idea I wanted to show you is to do with the sweep, or really it's to do with combining techniques. So you know, when you get it, say, a sports person, we'll take, say, rugby for example, not because I'm a New Zealander or anything, we'll just use that for now. When you first learn the sport, you learn the passes, you learn the throws and the kicks, and you hopefully you get into a really good standard by doing them over and over. After that stage, you start to develop and you do combinations of those things. And it's the same with any sport. If you look at boxing, it's the same thing. You don't just do one punch, then wait and do the other. You do combinations of punches. So with guitar, with music, it's similar. You learn each technique, say hammer-ons or pull-off, you know, all the basic stuff, vibrato, but then you start to put them in combinations. That's when it starts to sound really neat. So that idea never really stops. When you learn something, say like a sweep technique or sweep picking, you might learn something else like tapping and put them together. So I'm going to get to something else that's even more important in a sec, but we'll just use that as the basic idea for now. So we'll take, say, really the most basic sweep, major seventh. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I won't go into detail because a lot of you already know sweeping. You just want one motion with the pick, and I think of it like a pizza cutter, rolling with the fretting hand over the strings. So you're not turning it into a chord. You don't want them to ring together. Anyway, so if you do something like a sweep, you might add another technique that you know, like a tap. So you might 1, 2, 3, 4 with the sweep, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then add, say, a hammer and a tap with the pick. So it might turn into something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then tap. Now if you put that, or play it properly, and you can add the pull-off as I was just doing. Now when you learn something like that, or you start experimenting with it, move where you're going. It makes it a bit more interesting. Okay, now here's one of the points I wanted to get to. You all know how to do that, to do a technique and combine them together. Now, make it musical. And one of the most interesting ways to do this is to swap lead with rhythm. So if you learn a lead technique, such as a sweep or an arpeggio, play it in like a rhythmic roll as a riff. Or if you learn something for riffing, try and put it in a solo. Always try and swap things around and screw with them. Of course you learn them as is first, you learn it perfectly and go over it and all the rest of it. But then really try and get creative, do the opposite. See what happens if you break the rules. And you can come up with some really interesting stuff. Room for a little line over the top or whatever, but it's using it as more of a kind of like a main riff to a song. And then you might change the rhythm kind of. So that's the main point for today, is try something in lead and put it in rhythm or a riffing type of scenario. And if you learn something for riff making, put it in your solos. Swap ideas around and combine ideas. But see how you go with that for now, and then we'll try something else.